then you are mute. All right.
Okay.
So good afternoon once again. And we're here. It's a privilege to be here anyway. It's a privilege to serve you. It's a privilege to add value to you and to your life. I personally like results. I like to see people's life get better. And I like to add my quota as much as I can. And so this is why I've called for this course. And let me say that you are privileged to have this course because it is the first that I'm organizing. I'm currently going through a course, a professional course, and then getting the light of some things I'm getting currently. I feel like, wow, this is a whole lot that people around me needs to be the first beneficiary of all of these benefits. And then I thought of, okay, let me do this. And this is why we are all here. So let me also say that if you don't have a journal or a fresh jotter and pen, you want to do that because you would need this. There will have a whole lot of assessments being conducted. And at the end of this course, which is like a 6 or 7 weeks, because I've tried to compress them together so that we can be pretty fast. But how fast we will be is all dependent on how well you are able to bring in the assessments result. So we'll be able to make inference or recommendations from the assessments. But if you do not do the assessments, there's no magic anywhere and there's nothing that we want to recommend. So it is a two-way thing. I have my part to play, you also have your part to play. So I'm saying this beforehand so that we can all be on the same page. And so I also want it to be an engaging section whereby you can ask questions. This is why I encouraged us to join. All right. So let's kickstart. Before now, I've shared the schedule. I've shared what and what it's embedded in. But in today's class, I've tried to merge week 1 and week 2 together. Let's see how fast we can go. So I'll be pretty fast, but then if you cannot get me, there's no sense in being fast when you cannot get me. So we still have to break it into 2 weeks. But let's see how far we can go. So today we want to talk about understanding the belief system and triangle of life. So there's something called belief system. That thing you say you believe in, whether good or bad, is all as a result of some things that have come together to make up that belief. Some of these beliefs are not really our own personal belief. They were passed to us whether by our parents, by the environment we grew from, or by the religious setting that we all belong to. It is not so because it just came from our inside, and that's how we say we believe it. And some of the so-called belief we say we have, we really do not believe it in total, but we say it on the lips, but it really did not get into us. And this is why you see people say they believe something, but their heart's contrary. And so this is why we need to really understand how belief system works. That thing you call belief only works by an idea that forms your thought that forms the concept, and then you now have the belief. So this is the bedrock of whatever you call a belief system. It is to say that there is an idea that gave birth to a thought, that thought gave birth to a concept, and then the concept gave birth to what we call the belief. So the belief is not the belief is what we see on the surface, but under the belief, there are like 3 other things. So if you really want to trash a belief system, you need to go from the idea to the thoughts, from the thoughts to the concept, and then you get the belief. Now, the objective of this course is, and I mean the whole of this 6 or 7 weeks course, is to help you and to help me. And the essence of all of this is for us to gain clarity. You will gain clarity as a person or as an individual because you will have an increased awareness of the tendencies you have, the way of life you also have. It is not to label you to say, oh, you are bad, oh, you have this, you have that. No, so it's not to label anybody. It's just for you as an individual to know what your tendencies are, know what your strengths are, know what you need to work on, and then get better in your relationship and even in your marriage life. Then it is also for your partner to get benefits. When I mean partner, I don't just mean your marital partner. We all came from one home or the other. People that you are in relationship with, whether your father, your mother, your siblings, will get these benefits. Your friends, your colleagues at work, your spouse, or your partner that you're engaged with, you also get these benefits. Because when you see yourself in the true light of the picture that you truly are, you will then be the better version of yourself, and people around you will also benefit from it. And for me, as a practitioner to be, I will also gain clarity to know who I am speaking with. And this will also make me to know how to best to relate with you. Now, let me do a disclaimer. I know some of us might be surprised to see some other persons on this call. Can I still be heard so that I'm not just talking to myself? Just say yes, or in chat say yes. So I know I'm not alone. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
All
right, thank you. Thank you. So, like I was saying, some of you will see some other person and like, why are we more than what we expected? After I've spoken to one or two persons, I felt the need of also still extending this to others so that I can just make them get blessed by it. So this is why you are all for the same purpose. All right. So now there are quite a number of assessments that you will go through in this course. And one of them is what we call love language test. You know that popular love language test that, the love language, 5 love languages there, the touch, the gift, the words of affirmation, quality time, and all. We'll be talking about it, but then we'll do that assessment. And we'll also be talking, you'll be going through the assessment called the marital health assessment. You will also go through what I call product or user manual assessments, which you can also call your product description. Then there's something called belief system assessment. All of these are important. All right, all of these are also important. We'll go through them. Then the tools we'll be engaging in this include the jar of life, the triangle of life, the tree of life, and then the user manual. You don't know them now, don't worry. I'll take you through them and then you get better. All right, so now what are our expectations in this course? It is to work out your marriage and make it a reality. Whatever your expectation is in marriage, it is to make it a reality. Another expectation is that you will replace all your existing disempowering beliefs with an empowering one. That is what we also envisage. We also envisage that you'll be able to identify your possible foundational issues that you have or that you were predisposed to that may probably affect you negatively, so that you can work on them and then it doesn't affect you in your own marriage. So these are our expectations in this course. I hope I'm not too fast. Am I too fast?
No.
All right, thank you. So what are we now focusing on today? We are focusing on checking what your belief system is. What do you believe? Can somebody tell me what you believe? We'll be assessing what you believe about God. What do you believe about relationship? What do you believe about marriage? Where did that belief came from? And again, what do you think that belief that you believe in, what has it cost you? How has it affected the way you behave or the way you act? What exactly has this belief brought you, positively or negatively? So this is what we'll be doing. And by doing that, we'll engage the triangle of life, like I said, the jar of life, and then the tree of life. Now, so let's go. The belief system, actually. Now, you do this assessment on your journal or your jotter, as the case may be. What are your current beliefs? What are your present beliefs, permit me? What are your present beliefs about relationship and about marriage? Maybe you want to write 2 or 3 in your notes. What are your present beliefs about relationship or about marriage? Write 3 of them. You can do it in a tabular form if you like. Now, the next column will be that, where did you get that belief from? Now, let me give you an hint so that I'm not talking above your head. For instance, maybe I believe that marriage is for fun, or marriage is status, or is the social status. Being married is a social status, or I believe that getting married is just the necessary thing you need to do, or the necessary evil, whatever it is that you believe. Or I believe that marriage is a life assignment, whatever it is that you believe. There's no right or wrong as answer. Just write what you believe. Don't fate it. Just write your reality. Don't fate it like you believe what. No, just say what you believe. It's very fine that you are real. Now, the second column you want to ask is, where did you get that belief from? Whether you believe that marriage is for fun or should be fun, marriage is an assignment. Where did you get that belief from? Okay. The next column, you might not have all the answers now in your head, but the ones you have, just pen them down. So after this course, you can just go. After today's session, you can go and then do the complete version. How has this belief, this particular belief, how has it affected your behavior, whether positively or negatively? Has it costed you a lot of quality relationships that you should have been into? Has it cost you your pride as a person? Has it bettered you? Whatever, good or bad, just highlight it. Now, what has it cost you? What is it costing you? The third one I was saying is, how has it affected your behavior? How has it affected your behavior? That belief you have, how has it affected your behavior? Now, let me give you one practical one about myself. And one of it is that I had a background where family members were the one directing, in quotes, my father to make some decisions on some things. Growing up, I felt like, no, this is wrong. And I will not marry a man that will not make a decision on his own. That it will be his family members that are deciding for me. Now, that's a belief. And I can now analyze that belief to see, where did I get it from? Obviously, from my upbringing. How has it affected my behavior? I was looking all along, even during courtship, to check whether this man is able to make decisions by himself without being directed or influenced. Now, what has it cost me? Has it cost me my relationship, or has it bettered my relationship? Has it bettered my life? That's what we're asking here. Now, what 5 disempowering beliefs do you currently have as a person? What are when we say disempowering, beliefs that has not made you better, but it has made you worse, okay? So what are those disempowering beliefs? It can be about anything, whether relationship, about God, about money, about life, about work, about career, about man being the one to work, woman should not work, about the woman being the one taking care of the home and the man should not do anything. It can be anything. So what are these 5 disempowering beliefs, and where do you get these disempowering belief from? The last would be that you want to replace this disempowering belief with an empowering one, such that can make your life get better. And let me pause a bit and allow you to think over all I've said. Or maybe at this point you have a clarity or anything at all, you can drop it on the chat box, or you can then ask. 1 minute, and then we'll forge ahead. Okay, let me go ahead. Can I still be here? Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes,
Confirm? Okay, thank you. Let me give you an example of disempowering belief. For instance, when you hear somebody say you are stupid, what comes to your heart? Somebody says you are stupid. What comes to your mind? Or somebody does like this for you as an African person. Now, I think what you are not speaking, so I won't be the only one speaking. Somebody just open hand and do like this for you. Yes. Who is speaking? Let's hurry up. You know, this free version is just for 30 minutes so that we can utilize the time.
Disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. Okay. Does anyone want to add to it? You see, nothing really have meaning until, except the meaning that you place on it. What if in my own place where I've come from, doing your hand like this is saying hi? And it's not to say your papa, your mama, like people say in Africa. You understand? So what if somebody says you are useless? What comes to your mind? You feel the meaning you give to it is that this person says I'm worthless, right? Please, let's engage.
Yes. That means yes.
Like, I'm nobody, like I'm not adding value. But what if you flip the word useless to less use? And then you're thinking of, okay, maybe this person is saying he cannot utilize me well, he's not using me well. So it's to him, because he's not using me well, he's seeing me as useless. But it's just that he's not utilizing me well. So he's using me less. I have great potentials, but he's not using me as he ought to. So that meaning you give to it now, even though the person says you are useless, and in your mind, you have replaced useless with less use. Instead of you reacting, you rather respond in a positive manner. So disempowering beliefs are those things you have believed or that have been passed across to you that you then believe that, when they say, when somebody does like this, the person is saying you decrease, or the person is saying your papa or something. And as a result of that, you then begin to act. What if that's not what it meant? What if it meant something else? So we are the one that gives meaning to words or to things or to situations. You can decide to re-engineer your mind, because we are all a product of an engineering system. We were all engineered in a certain way. And how we have turned out is dependent on our upbringing. It's dependent on who raised us. It's dependent on what who raised us knows. And it's dependent on the environment. That's a summary of who we have become. So if who we have become is not correct in quote, then what we want to do is to go into all the things that made us up. The environment, the upbringing, the person who raised us, the knowledge that the person has. So it's for us to now pump in the right knowledge and debunk those things, and then begin to get meaning out of life. So this is why we're talking about belief system. Because see, in marriage, you see a whole lot of that, you hear a whole lot of that. And if you have not worked on your mind, it can make you begin to pick meaning to what actually is not meaningful. And then you make an issue out of something that really is not an issue. So now let's do this on the spot assessments. Are you ready? These are areas I want you to tell me 3 beliefs you have. And let me pick somebody. Permit me to call you by your first name. Apologies. I like to just call you by your first name. So let me engage one person. Stephen, are you there? Let me ask you, tell me 3 things you believe about money. And let's make it snappy. We just have a few minutes to go. 10 more minutes. Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It beliefs is a medium of exchange.
Yeah.
You work, you make it. You make it, you also use it for what you cannot get.
Okay. Thank you. And there's no wrong or right answer. Thank you. Wuraola, please tell me 2 or 3 things you believe about marriage. No right or wrong answer. Just tell me what you believe about marriage. Wura, are you there?
Okay, ma.
Yeah.
Okay, ma. I believe marriage is a union created by God for recreation, like for, you know.
That is clear.
And
Number
from
2.
what you said earlier, which I believe. So number 2, I believe it's a union between 2 people, and I believe it is for a purpose.
3. Okay, so it's fine.
I think that's
So you can do the rest
that's all I
assessments
can
in
say
your
for now.
journal. Thank you very much. You can do the assessments in your journal. The rest of us, just tell us 3 things you believe on all of these things: money, marriage, success, God, and people. All right. Now, in this assessment of today, what you'll be doing is to draft your triangle of life and your jar of life. And then from that, I will infer to you what that means and recommendations. Now, let's look at tree of life. And I know that this time will not be enough, but let me explain. This is like a tree, a typical tree. Can we all see? This tree has a root. It has a root. You can see the roots. It has the trunk. It has the branch. And then I'll show you the full-blown tree that has the leaf, the fruits, and then the insect. Now, these are the components of the tree of life. The roots now, because you're going to do this assessment for me, you're going to tell me what happened to you in your upbringing time. And that's the roots. It doesn't have to be anything good or bad, whatever it is, just write them there. Whether you grew up in the village, you had an experience with the stream, you always go to the market square, whatever it is, just write them, pinpoint and all. Then you go to the trunk. You have the right side and then you have the left side. On the right side, you put all the good memories you can remember during your childhood period. You write them all there. And then by your left-hand side, you put all the bad memories you had. And that usually beat you very well on top of nothing. Just write those things there. Then you move up to your branch. Your branch actually represents your hopes and aspirations, represents your ambition for life, for relationships, for business and all. They are just expectations and all. So you just write these ones too down. And the leaves now are your talents, your gifts, your skills, your capabilities, your strengths, your potentials, just highlight them. Then the fruits, they are your current results over time. Okay, let me give an example of myself. One current result I have is the fact that I've been able to work with a number of youths, and especially in the area of relationship, to help them get better, make the right decisions. I've also been able to spur so many people into finding their purpose and start the journey of fulfilling it. That's like my immediate result. So yours might be different, whatever it is. Then the insights are your current habits that are bad. Maybe you sleep too much, you eat and make noise with your mouth when you're eating. You don't, whatever bad habits you think you have, just write them. Now, this is a typical tree. On the next slide. Hold on for me. I hope it's clear where we are now. Is it clear? Oh, somebody left and I've admitted. So this is like a typical tree. I wanted us to do the assessment together now, but the time is not just there. So this is like the typical tree. The roots, you write what it is that you had as experience growing up. On the right side, you tell us what it is that is good that happened to you. On the left side, you tell us what is it that is bad that happened to you. And the leaf, you tell us what they are. Your branch, you tell us what they are, your expectations and all. And then these are the fruits, you also tell us what they are. Then if you look up here, you see what we call the incense. Now this is not even allowing me to see it. But can you see it from here? Can you see incense on top of the tree? Okay, this is incense. This is like butterfly. Can you see it? They are like incense. So these incense are your bad habits. You want to identify them. And with that, we'll be able to help you out. Now, which is the next one, is the jar of life.